What is up, everybody? Welcome to another live stream here at vidIQ. I'm Dan, joined by Rob. How's it going?
Hello, I was given a memo from the head honcho here at vidIQ never to hum any music at the end of a live stream again, so I do apologize for my indiscretions. Unless there's a huge demand for it, that will never happen again.
I feel like you're setting this up so that something's going to happen where you're going to have to. Boy, I guess we'll see. So every week we come here back to the YouTube channel to not only show you some of our amazing tools here at vidIQ and how you can use them to grow your channels and measure your success as you do it, but we also come to answer some of your questions. So the way this is going to work today is we're going to take you through a couple of our favorite tools, and then we're going to answer your questions. Be sure if you come up with any questions to just simply write them down and withhold them till we get to that portion so that everybody can hear the answer to your questions. And that's the way we do it. You want to say hi to some folks?
Sure, let's do that. Yeah, I've got my chat up here. I was just checking to see if I could set the chat timeout longer, like we did last week, but I couldn't find it.
Yeah.
Maybe Dan can sort that out if he's listening. I'm going to say hello to Cossack Pro, Emoji Man, Joy Hop App Kai, Domino's Best 25, Bori Piano, Cheetah Claiming, Revival by Nature, Learning by Earning. Oh, I like that name. Learning by Earning Tube. Supery Charp. Sorry if I pronounced that one wrong. Zorro Channel. And finally, we could not do this live stream without the Elliott family of seven. Hello to all of you.
I will say hello to Finley HB, Gamer Kid 663. Those happen to kind of rhyme a little bit. Excellent Dude, Notoriously Bad Gamer. We have Diane Fernandez. Let's see who else we got here. Doggo FF. Okay. Caleb Turner. And how about MC Axe?
How about MC Axe?
How about
hello
them?
To all of you? How about all of you?
So, couple things going on today. We're going to take you through a tool that you've probably seen a number of times if you have vidIQ installed, but let's address that first. If you don't have vidIQ installed, all you need to do is head down to our description, and not only can you install vidIQ, but if you've never been here before and taken advantage of this deal, you can actually get 30 days of Boost, which is all of our tools, our whole suite of tools. You can get it for free for 30 days. So go ahead and sign up. Why not? What do you have to lose? And what?
Available on Chrome, Firefox, and now, as Dan loves to say, you can grow on the go when you're in your parents' car while they're shopping at Targets. It's available on iOS and Android. That's for all of you regular viewers. You'll get that joke.
Yeah. Thanks for reminding me. And then, not only are we showing you all of these amazing tools and how you can get them and start for free today, but if you're really committed to vidIQ right now and you're like, oh my gosh, I got to have all these tools forever and ever, you can get, for our April Fool's special, you can get 12 months of Boost, which is normally 20% off anyway. And if you do that, you get a free one-on-one channel audit. This is when one of our channel auditors will sit down with you and actually go through your channel with you and show you all the different ways you could be improving and growing on YouTube. They've taken people who were in the thousands of subscribers and launched them into hundreds of thousands of subscribers. They've launched entire businesses. That's the value of this program.
This is no joke, of course. If you've sampled the channel audits that we do on a Tuesday, which is, like 5 to 10 minutes, almost skipping off the surface of your channel, looking at the tip of the iceberg, you'll already get some useful insights, maybe quick mention about thumbnails, title, channel focus. But when you get to sit down with one of our audit specialists for an entire hour, and it's like a one-on-one conversation, so it's not just a passive experience, it can transform your content creation. So it is, it is a bigger commitment, and that's why we do have that free month's trial offer if you can't afford this right now. But if you have been thinking about upgrading to vidIQ, now is a perfect opportunity because you get that extra channel audit bonus for absolutely free. So yeah, the link is probably in the description. I think that's what's on screen, and there is a joke you can see at the top there, which we Dan, you read out this joke because I did it yesterday.
Okay, if we must, what do you get if you cross a cow with the world's best YouTube creator tool? vidIQ. And we're sorry about that.
So good. But there's another one now because I think Dan H has done one in Twitter. So I'm going to read out this one. Why did the hashtag YouTuber cross the English channel?
Why?
To get to the audit side. If that doesn't make you want to invest in vidIQ,
it's really clever.
I don't know why it needs to be the English channel. Like, why can't the chicken just cross the road like normal?
Because
sorry, English channel. Yeah, you see, I'm not even realizing the comedy of a joke.
It's really deep, and you're the butt of the joke.
It works on so many levels. Oh dear.
So there we go. We wanted to share that with you. Consider it. Check it out. vidIQ.com/bonus. I believe is the link. It should be linked down below.
But here's a good thing, Dan. We've been talking about all of this paid stuff. And we do obviously want you to sort of invest in your future with us at vidIQ. But what we're actually showing you today is my favorite vidIQ tool of all time. And it is 100% free. And I just love this thing. And I use it all of the time.
It is the real-time stats bar. Like I said, it is ubiquitous. If you have vidIQ installed, you've seen this if you've visited the YouTube homepage afterwards. And you've probably wondered, like, what is that thing? If you're brand new. And just very quickly, some of the things we can see here without even putting our cursor over it is we can see in the last 60 minutes, the vidIQ channel has 3.4 thousand views. That's how much it's gotten. In the last 48 hours, though, 146, almost 147,000 views. And then even in the last 7 days, we're looking at 560,000 views. That's awesome. Pretty encouraging. And this is the kind of thing that I'm always looking to check too. Like if I post a new video, I like to check back an hour later to see how it's been performing the last, hour or so. And it's just nice to see like, oh, I remember this number was like 1.5K and now it's gone up 2,000 viewers. That's really cool.
We could probably do a test of this now, actually, Dan. Let's refresh the page because now we're live. I'm guessing our views per hour is going to have increased somewhat. I'm asking you to do something a little tricky here by jumping out of a full screen. Okay.
It's Shift F5.
Shift F5. There we go. So hopefully that should refresh. And fingers crossed, the number goes significantly up here. I'm praying a little bit.
3.9.
3.9. So it's gone up a bit, but it's going to continue to rise as we're doing this live stream. You can see, right. So you can see there, Dan, a little spike that we've got. Yeah. That's because all of you right now, these 160 plus people have joined us in the live stream. That's causing it to spike. And I kind of look at this figure as my resting heartbeat or the cadence of a channel. When you're exposed to this number all of the time, you start to get an idea of how your channel is performing on average. And we'll say, I think on vidIQ right now, on a day when we don't publish a video, we get around 2,000 to 4,000 views per hour, depending on the time of day, obviously. But then when we publish a video, it can go up to something along the lines of 6,000 to 7,000 views per hour. So I know roughly what my channel's doing all of the time. But let's say you're just browsing on YouTube and all of a sudden the numbers seem completely different. Like all of a sudden you get it, for us, it might be 10,000 views an hour. That's an immediate indication that there's something going on in your channel and you can quickly check it without, consciously having to go to the channel analytics. This is just giving you a health check of your channel 24/7 when you're on YouTube. And that's why I love it. It's addictive. It can be dangerous, but I find it so useful and valuable.
Yeah, it is something we try to encourage people, depending on the type of person you are. This, may only apply to some of you, but if you get too invested in the numbers, it can kind of suck you into a dangerous level, as Rob put it. And you don't want to let the numbers get you down or anything like that. You want to be able to make content, and yes, you want to see how it performs, but you also want to be able to have the capacity to focus on the next video too. So just I guess a fair word of warning there. Let's show people what these check marks are, though. Yep. So we have all these different blue numbers up here, and if we were to untick the views per hour in the last 60 minutes, it'll just simply go away. So you can actually get to customize this. And one of the things we don't have shown right now is the shorts views. Now, what's this? If I hit this, it adds not only an extra 1K here, but we can tell just by looking at the icon. I barely see it there, little shorts icon. This is telling us that in the last 48 hours, we've gotten 1,000 views just from our YouTube Shorts alone. We don't post a lot of YouTube Shorts here. So
yeah, one a week or one every 2 weeks, something like that.
So we don't have this on, but maybe if you are just a shorts channel, you would probably have this on above some of these other options. You know, maybe you don't have this one on because it's the last 48 hours. But if you post both shorts and long form content, it could be a pretty interesting comparison. So we have 148,000 views from just regular YouTube views, and then 1,000 of those, I assume they're rolled into the same thing. 1,000 of those are shorts.
Yeah. Essentially, the channel got nearly 150,000 in total, but the traffic source of shorts contributed 1,000 views to that.
Yeah, and just to show you what that looks like, I want to pull up real quick. Let's see if I fail to do this. One of our YouTube shorts, just to show people where these shorts views or how they look. Do we have a short?
Yeah,
it's this one.
Yes, that one.
Okay,
yeah, there you go.
So that is when you see right here shorts. This video has 22.8% of its views in the last 48 hours. That's come from shorts.
Yeah, so about 100 there, I'd say, from that one.
Yeah, so we can look at this and go, okay, so there's the short metric right there, and that's what this is pulling from here. Just
if you're making shorts on a regular basis, then you'll see that number spiking often, which is obviously a very good sign for the channel.
Right.
If you're making YouTube shorts.
So that is all the different things we can do. If you care about minutes watched, you can put that on there as well. I'll leave it the way Rob had it. But that is everything you can see at a glance with the real-time stats bar. Now, it has some other tricks up its sleeve. First of all, there's this little hamburger menu here. And this will actually get you to all the different big tools we have. And we've shown a lot of these in past live streams now. This will actually give you shortcuts. So not only can you access them from the left-hand side or while you're in your YouTube studio, but you can also access them from here, which is really handy. So we can click on Channel Audit.
Yeah, I guess the channel audit might be considered the big brother of a real-time stats bar where, okay, I can see my channel's doing this. I know my channel's getting 2,000 views per hour right now or whatever, but how is that broken down per individual video? And you can see right now that this live stream is performing the best, obviously. It's currently at 700 views per hour, but it's going to continue to rise over the next 60 minutes. So there's a nice breakdown of what's going on the channel right now. And look, Dan, there you are still. How to start a gaming channel. That's 3 months old, that video now, and you're just popping along nicely. We reckon it's going to get at least 500,000 views by the end of the year. Nice job, sir. Nice job.
Oh, thanks. 200 views per hour. That's awesome.
Just wait. I mean, 200 views doesn't sound much, but when you times it to 24, that's like 5,000 views a day, 10,000 views every 48 hours, around about 35,000 views a week, around about quick maths. What would that be? I can't work it out over the course of a year. It's a lot.
Rob
1.5 million, I think.
Oh,
at that pace.
Rob.exe has encountered an error.
I could be wrong there.
So there you go. A lot of views, and this is always I don't know. This is probably my favorite column right here. Just seeing how the last 5 videos you've done are just doing right now. And then of course
we should also mention that like if you're seeing this screen for the first time and you're going, huh, what channel audit? We did a big guide on this on one of these live streams about 2 or 3 weeks ago. So if you do want to reference that, please do. And of course, some of this stuff, not all of this, but some of this stuff is available for free. I think it just limits the number of results you get. I think if you're a free user, it would show you 3 videos per column as opposed to 5 plus the view more link underneath each of these columns.
Right. So it is a pretty robust tool, and we are seeing it in boost mode. So if you are a boost subscriber, you'll have
a lot of red down there. scroll away.
Okay. You don't want to see the red? I thought you wanted to learn.
I forgot to put end screens and cards in live streams. That's usually what it is.
Well, there you go. So I like the way you put this. This channel audit tool is basically like the big brother to the real-time stats bar. Basically, everything.
On the big sister.
Yes.
Let's try and keep this gender inclusive.
The older sibling.
There we go.
And everything you can see in here, you can get a deeper dive in the channel audit tool. So that's really interesting. What was the next thing we wanted to show?
Yeah, so what we're showing you here is, I guess, a larger channel's analytics. But specifically for some of you smaller channels, we do have a very special tool. So if you can switch to, Dan, the YouTube Shorts channel.
Let me do that off screen here.
You need to switch account to the YouTube Shorts channel, the vidIQ YouTube Shorts channel.
Yes.
And then we can show you that analytic. All right, lovely stuff. So you're actually seeing the vidIQ Shorts channel analytics now. You should be. There we go. All right. So can you see now there's a new number at the top there, and it's in amber. And this represents your watch time hours as you work towards 4,000 hours of watch time. So on the vidIQ Shorts channel, we started this, I think, in like October and November of last year. So it's been up and running for about 6 months. And so far, we've got 430 hours that contribute to our monetization. Now, the reason for this is, as you may or may not know, is that YouTube Shorts watch time doesn't count to monetization, but short videos can be consumed from many different locations. So if it's watched in browse or suggested or like a normal YouTube video, then those hours will count. So yeah, as you can see on this one, the spread of views is a lot different in that this channel is getting 350 views every 48 hours, but a third of those views are shorts views because it is a shorts channel. And even though we're trying to make shorts, people are watching these videos outside of shorts. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but when they watch outside of the shorts player, those hours count. So it's basically tabulating our watch time hours over the last 12 months, because obviously you need 4,000 hours over the last 12 months. And I think that's almost accurate. Sometimes it's maybe like a day out or something you do. Sometimes it's interesting to confirm this with the YouTube analytics monetization, but it's usually spot on. I've noticed some very small discrepancies. Once you hit 4,000 hours of watch time and they get to 5,000 hours of watch time and you've reached monetization requirements, this analytic automatically disappears because you don't necessarily need to see this specific number on the tool. So this is why we can show it on the YouTube Shorts channel, but not on the vidIQ channel, because we get around about 4,000 hours of watch time every 2 days or something silly like that.
Yeah. So it would just do you no good because you're not really paying attention after you get into the partner program anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm going to switch back real quick to our main channel.
And so to remind you, of course, that tool, along with all of the real-time stats bar stuff, is free. All you need to do is download vidIQ, authenticate your channel. You don't even need to use the links in the description for the 30-day free trial, although we do recommend you do that. You would get all of the tools that we've just shown you here from the real-time stats bar for absolutely free.
Yes. Also, one more note here is that I did say this shows shortcuts to all of our different tools. There's 2 things here, maybe even 3, that may get missed sometimes. You can get into vidIQ rewards from here, and this is not to do too many plugs today. If you're somebody who's been looking for help, maybe with graphics, thumbnails, finding some music, captions, things like that, we have vidIQ rewards here to help you find some discounts. There's also a link here to the vidIQ Academy. But what I was trying to show was that we had the vidIQ Academy in, in here as well in the hamburger menu. So if you were to go back to the real-time stats bar, come on, real-time stats bar, wake up. You can go to the Academy straight from here. And then the last thing I wanted to show you was achievements. Now, I'm only showing you this because I feel like we might have to do a whole live stream on this one day.
Because we want to show off, basically.
Yes. A lot of people do, though. A lot of people want to be able to share their success. If you've hit your first 60 million views, if you've hit your first 800,000 subscribers, and this is milestones. It won't only appear when you get 800,000 subscribers. You can actually click on this, and it'll bring you to a certificate page where you can print this out, download it, share it on Twitter, share it with your friends. So just something that I think gets missed quite a bit. A lot of these get sent in emails, and that's how people notice them. But you can actually go in any time and celebrate all kinds of achievements, not just the ones we email you.
So I'm just looking for my printed certificate. Hang on, I'll just be a minute.
Okay. The page kind of slowed down on us anyway, so I'll let Rob show it. And meanwhile, I can fix my tabs that I broke. I made a mess of my tabs. Stand by as Rob digs around. Oh, man. Got it?
So, yeah, every time we hit an achievement of some kind, I go to the dollar store and get some of these very simple frames, and then I just print them out because I'm like that. And I've done all of them for from 100,000 up to 800,000. But the useful thing is that they're all dated, so I can kind of roughly work out when we hit all of these milestones. So yeah, when we get to 1 million, we're gonna have all of these paper ones as well as the silver ones, and hopefully the gold play button, and maybe a new wrestling belt version of all our subscriber trinkets. Even though, let me just quickly say, subscribers are useless. I do need to add that because that's what I'm sticking to right now. I've got to stick to this mantra because I've put it in a video that I think subscribers are useless as a data point.
You mean that, and I think the way you can prove it is so what I want you to do is when you get the gold play button, take one of our certificates and just crudely hot glue it over, slap it on the gold play button. So it'll look like it's on a gold frame. That's what I think you should do. All right. So I think we pretty much covered. There's one more thing I think you said that I wanted to make sure we got to, actually. How do you said there's a way to turn this off? Yeah,
but you may have to. Can you just hide the screen, Dan? Because I don't know what data this brings up. You click the IQ button. All right. So when you have the extension installed, you'll have like a little button which says IQ, and if you click on there, Dan, is it showing you any information we shouldn't?
I don't know yet. Anyway, let's just guide me through it, and I'll.
So you click on the IQ button, and then it gives you lots of shortcuts.
Yeah.
But it also has a settings, and then if you click that,
settings.
Yeah. So bring that up.
Let's show this real quick.
Yeah, you can show that, but I think the IQ button has like an email address on it, so that's why we don't really want to show that. But
right.
This is where it gives you some settings. We can turn off it's called the tool. I like to call it a real-time stats bar, but the official name is a toolbar stats dropdown.
Okay.
So you can turn it off, but you can also turn off other things like the like to dislikes ratio and anything that you think's just clogging up your YouTube layout from vidIQ. This is kind of a master control. So yeah, if you want to download vidIQ, but you don't necessarily like some of the tools, you just want to have a minimalist look and just use the ones that you like, then you can control it from that settings screen. So you just have to imagine what we're saying here. When you install the Chrome or Firefox extension, there should be a IQ button which you can press, and then there's a settings option there. So just go to that.
So before we get into our Q&A section, this is where you can ask us. You can ask us about our tools. If you have any other burning YouTube questions, we'll answer those as well. We may favor some of the tool questions, at least at first, so keep that in mind. Please don't spam your question. If you ask it once, give it some time before you ask it again. You are allowed to ask it again. Chat just does move. Just be aware that there's a lot of questions. And then the last thing I was going to say is, since we're about 25 minutes into this live stream, once again, just so this doesn't get lost and stays at the top of your minds, you can get all the tools you just saw and more, our full, complete suite of tools, for an entire year. If you were to purchase them for an entire year, you will get a one-on-one channel audit with one of our channel auditors here at vidIQ. This is something that if you were to buy a session of this, it would cost you around $500, and they will help sit down with you and help you grow your channel, figure out all the different things you could be doing to turn your hobby into a business, if that's what you desire to do. So there are 8 days left, a little more than 8 days, and there are only 250 slots. So once those are gone, they're gone. So keep that in mind.
Yeah, all right. I'm just adding that as a ticker, Dan, so we may be able to add that a little later, but not yet, because I know we've got another one. So let me just check. Does that work? There we go. It does work, but we'll put that one up later. Where is the Q&A one gone? That's what I wanted to bring up.
Cool. All right. So ticker at the bottom. Hashtag question will help us identify your question here. And let me just remove the screen behind there. All right. So it looks like some questions are coming in.
I have set the chat to 60-second timeout. So that just helps us, because if you just keep spamming with questions, it makes it really hard for us to track them. And yeah, we will try and answer all your questions, but just be aware that each question maybe takes 2 or 3 minutes to answer. Maybe try and ask the questions not while we're in the middle of answering another one, because we'll just miss it. Try and time your questions for when we're getting to the end of one question. That's probably just means we're going to get a flood of questions all at once, but we're trying to make this work as best we can. And I think Dan and I we're still trying to learn how to do Q&A effectively, aren't we?
Right. Well, It's really easy for us to stop the chat somewhere too, and we might see a few questions where we stopped it, and so people are still asking below, but we're not even seeing them yet. So it's messy back here. All right, we're doing our best. This is why it's so important not to spam it. Okay, so I have a couple here.
Sure.
You might have an answer to this. I'm not really sure. For me, achievements also count deleted video views. Oh, okay. It's not really a question. I read that as a question when I first read it. I had this problem actually, and I think it just takes a while for the tool to update. If you delete a bunch of videos, it can make a lot of things, not just vidIQ's tools, but YouTube's own analytics fall into disarray. So we always recommend unlisting your videos rather than deleting them, and that keeps your metrics from, kaboom. That's the best way I can describe it.
It is a fair point, though. I mean, we're always happy to fix bugs when and where we can. So if you feel as if this may be a bug with the achievements, just report it to support@vidIQ.com and we will be more than happy to investigate for you. But yeah, as Dan says, deleting videos can skew the numbers a little bit, and so unlisting is usually preferential.
Yes. All right, here. So let's take a look. We're going to quietly find questions. Okay, how about this one? We do this all the time. What's the use of keeping a video unlisted before publishing it, and are there disadvantages of doing it? Do you want to take this?
Okay, yeah, I'll start with this one. So primarily, there's two technical reasons for this. The first one being that it allows YouTube to process a video so that it can be viewed at its highest quality. Now, I think this is probably especially useful for 4K videos, although YouTube does it very quickly now. And you may have noticed YouTube are now bringing in a new tool or checker as part of the upload process. Well, it will quickly run through the video to confirm if there are any copyright issues with it, and will let you know before you publish it. So that's another reason. Also, you kind of want to time the publishing of your video for when most of your audience is online, unless it's super time sensitive. So generally speaking, here at vidIQ, we will publish videos at 6 o'clock or 6 to 9 o'clock in the morning, my time, which is on the west coast of the US, because that kind of captures most of the English-speaking Western world, although unfortunately Australia and New Zealand always lose out a little bit because we publish ours in the middle of the night. But for the UK, it's like an evening. For the East Coast where Dan is, it's lunchtime, and for us, it's in the morning. And so there's some timing aspects to it. And also, we send our videos for transcribing or captioning to Rev, and that usually takes 24 hours. So we like to have our videos fully captioned before we publish them, which leads to some fun moments where people are trying to find our videos before they go live. Like, we have to set them unlisted so that Rev can transcribe them. But if it's in a playlist before the video goes live, then people can watch it. And so that's why we always get people saying, how did I post this 3 days ago? Or Time Traveler 7.0, because I think they're really funny because they're posting early. And yeah, I think I've given you kind of a lot of answers there. I don't know if there's anything you could add to that, Dan.
There's no downside to it. As soon as you make the video public, it goes into the notifications and browse and everywhere it wants to go. So I wouldn't be afraid of doing that. The difference is there, like, so for Rev, we can't set the video to private because then Rev can't help us with the captions. So we have to put it unlisted. And now there's a new unlisted. Used to be great for, hey, I just want to share this video with my friends and stuff before I'm going to publish it live, or maybe I'm never going to publish it. Now you can actually do that on a private video. You can actually invite people, kind of like a Google Doc, to view a private video. So maybe unlisted is getting a little less useful than it used to be. But yeah, no downside.
Let's try this one, Dan. Wahoo Goats. How can I make a good intro for a challenge Pokemon video? So I'm not a Pokemon expert, but I hear the word challenge, and this is what I think about when I want to make an intro for my video. You have a climactic moment, which is almost the pivot point, the deciding moment of that story, that video. Like, are you going to succeed and hit that challenge or not? And you almost lead up to the point where you're almost there, you're not there, you leave it with mystery and an unknown of whether you're going to actually hit it. So that would be your intro. And then you can do your splash screen or whatever, and start at the very beginning. That's how I might introduce an intro for a challenge of some kind.
A lot of Minecraft channels do a really good job of this, where maybe they're running, right, and they're gonna something is about to blow up, or they're about to fall off a cliff. You just hear an "oh no," and like maybe the screen will go black. One thing I would recommend if you're going to do a cold open like that is to just some viewers might not be used to it, so at the very top of the screen you could put like "coming up in this episode" or whatever. And that could be a good way to help anyone go like, whoa, what do I just, this video just started. This is weird. And then it rolls into your intro. If you're not willing to do a cold open, or even if you do that, the other thing I would say is no matter what kind of content you're making, gaming, Pokemon, Minecraft, whatever it is, don't drag on your intro. Get into the action as soon as you can. If you have some announcements that you want to talk about, like, by the way, guys, I'm doing a new video on this, save that for later in the video. But if you don't get into the meat of the video right away, you're going to see that crazy hockey stick in your retention graph where it just drops immediately because people are like, I came here to watch this challenge. I'm 15 seconds in and there's nothing happening yet. So try not to let people feel that way.
Dan, you used the fancy term there, cold open. What is a cold open?
A cold open is when a video just starts. A lot of late night shows do this, where it usually, if you watch a late night show, it's music and tonight's guest is so-and-so, but they'll start with a sketch instead.
Yeah.
So you can do the same kind of thing on YouTube, especially if you've created an intro or had one bought on Fiverr where it's like your name and lights and whatever. Start something before that point so people know what's coming up. It helps retention. It helps people stick around. They're like, when did that happen and what's going to happen? And I got to know. And I got to know what led to that event. A
lot of sitcoms do that, don't they? Like The Office, Big Bang Theory, Friends. Yes. They have an opening sketch and then the actual intro to the program.
SNL is a great example of this too. They'll do a cold open on something that happened in the news, and then they'll launch live from New York, and then they'll do the whole.
Because I'm in the US now, I watch it a bit more. I mostly watch it for the weekend update because that's the thing I find funny.
Yeah, same here.
About, but the SNL intro is really long, and I was like, why is it so long? And so I decided to count how many guests there are. Well, the cast. Yeah. And there's 20 people on SNL. I didn't even realize that until I sat there and said 1, 2, 3, 4. What's Kenan Thompson? Yeah. Like, how long's he been on SNL? Like, I know he's been like on it for years at this point.
Yeah, from like 15 years or something crazy like that. It's that their first sketch is about 8 minutes long. I think it's the longest sketch on the whole show. Right. I would not recommend making the cold open the longest thing on your video.
And then Michael Che and Colin Jost have the easiest skit there because they just do a weekend update where they deliver about 10 jokes, and then they have. I hate it when they bring in the guests. Like if they're having an interview. I hate that bit. I just want the jokes. Yeah. That's all I want.
Yeah.
If you want to add your thoughts to the SNL conversation we're having here right now, do let us know in the comments below.
We've answered what, like 2 questions? We'll be here for a bit, so don't worry. Let's see what we got next. This question's a little bit broad, and I just lost it. Here it is. Okay, so how would be a good way to get into the algorithm as a small creator? What this creator's asking here, I think, is how can I get my videos showing up in search and from there recommended to others and so forth. This is where we talk about making valuable content, making content for an audience. And it seems obvious, but a lot of gaming channels start out where they just sit down and they're like, today I'm going to record my game and I'm just going to talk and it's going to be fun. And I'm sure they have a lot of fun making that content. But if you don't make a good thumbnail, if your title doesn't indicate that anyone's going to get anything out of it, it's too soon to be doing that kind of content. The bigger creators who are well established, they can do just about anything. They have their audience, but you don't yet. So it's important to make content. You can sit down and play your game, but make that video, that let's play about something, and then reflect that in your thumbnail and your title.
Simple on this channel focus. Think less. Right. What I want you to do is delete the word algorithm from your question and replace it with audience. So what does it read now? How would it be a good way to get into the? All right, replace it with community instead of audience.
Yes.
Get into the community as a small creator. That is the most important thing. I've just finished a video actually where I'm saying at one end of the YouTube spectrum is the creator, and at the other end is the viewer. And these are both humans, and that's what you need to focus on, not the bit in between with all the ones and zeros and the dots. You need to know how to impact that human being, but do it on a regular basis. So not like this human being with one video and then this human being over here who has completely different interests than this one. You want to be hitting that same target audience consistently over and over again, so that that audience becomes familiar with your content. And then also YouTube, from a topic point of view, starts to learn a bit more about who should be watching your content, and it can serve it up to them multiple times. And that's when we start to talk about this new analytic, the return viewer analytic, and building an audience through that. But we've got plenty of videos on that already.
Yeah. So the other thing too is don't look at the algorithm in this adversarial way either. The algorithm is something you can't control. First of all, it's ever changing, and it's literally a tool that YouTube uses to get your content to the people who want to see it. It's a friend to both audience and creator, in my view. And I think probably more so to the audience, a lot of creators would say, but you don't want your content pushed to somebody who's going to click away or ignore it anyway. So that's what the algorithm's there to do. Don't worry about getting into the algorithm. As Rob said, worry about reaching an audience. People, not computers.
Yeah, let's have a look at this one. Is switching off video comments a bad thing? On the surface level, yes, because you're effectively cutting off your entire potential community. And so it means that you can't directly interact with them. So if you ask questions in the video, they can't respond to that. If you're trying to create a connected belief or passion with your audience, again, they can't really share that. If you're often, when you share stories, like we've probably just been talking about SNL and whatever, and some of you probably in the chat said, yeah, you're right about that, or you're kind of thinking along the same lines and you want to contribute in the chat in some way. It just means that you're taking that opportunity away. So it becomes it's like you're watching television at that point. It's a very passive experience, and YouTube tries to encourage you to directly communicate with your audience. Now, underneath the surface, there may be reasons why you've done this, whether it's because you have very polarizing content, there's a lot of trolls on your content, and you just need to shut them out. I mean, there are more individual ways of doing this by blocking them. You can, what's the term? Is it hide users? Whereby whenever they comment on your channel, it's just never shown, and you never have to read it. So you can do that on an individual basis. I can't think of a reason why you would want to remove comments. Unfortunately, for kids' channels, that's automatically done. But for most regular viewers, I mean, yeah, let us know in the chat. Why would you want to turn comments off?
Yeah. Another thing too is go into your settings. We can't show you this because there's a lot of stuff in there we can't show you, but go into your settings and start filtering out words that you don't want said in your comments or your chat, because every time one of those words is said, then YouTube will automatically hide it. And now YouTube is increasing its efforts to keep negative comments away from you by automatically deleting your held for review comments after, I believe, 60 days. So they've said themselves they would encourage you just to never even check that space unless you asked. Maybe you asked a question. I had this happen in a video. I asked a question and everyone answered the question, but because they used a specific word that was required in their answer, YouTube thought it was dangerous, and I had to, no, it's not dangerous, YouTube. So I actually had to go in there. But other than that, I never check it because it's always full of links, and I've turned off the ability to add links in my comments. And it's always full of advertising or vulgar words, and I don't want any of that. I want my community to be clean. So go in and set up these filters. They're not set up by default, so you have to go in there and actually set it up. But once you do, you'll be a lot happier.
I've given everyone a free ride so far to get us up to 270 likes, but this is where I start to demand a little bit from our audience. So can we please get this up to 300 likes? I know that sounds technically impossible because there's only 235 people watching with 271 likes, but I know some of you haven't clicked that thumbs up button yet, so please do. It would be appreciated. And already 10 of you have done that, so that's very thankful. I did want to just bring this one down very quickly. This isn't to kind of show off us in any way, but I just want to acknowledge and congratulate this creator, Splodgeball E, who he actually did one of the Mr. Beast Shorts videos for us. He's like a Domino's channel. And he's saying we watched one of his videos a few weeks ago, and is now getting almost 1 million views a day, which is phenomenal. Let me just share this screen. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, it's that one. And I'll bring this up. So yeah, this is Splodge Ball, and he does domino stuff. And he's jumping on the YouTube Shorts phenomenon right now. And I just sorted by most popular. And look at that. Some of his videos have got millions of views right now, like 6 million views on an epic domino fail that is 11 seconds long. But obviously setting up that domino thing probably took at least an hour or so. I mean, I was just making a short before, and I've been getting it all wrong. It is amazing how long shorts sometimes take to make.
I think we audited this channel, and you featured them as well.
Yeah, I think so. Or maybe we did a shout out for them. But yeah, I just wanted to say congratulations to you. And this is the power of YouTube Shorts right now. Even though, you can't monetize your content, this channel could become one of the premier Domino Shorts channels over 2021. And I just want to say well done. And, some people are saying shorts don't work. Take a look at this channel. Use this as a reference point. They're focusing on dominoes and the wonderful things that they can do with dominoes. And yeah, over the last, I think, 3 months, they've really taken off as a channel. So well done, Splodge Ball.
Yeah, well done. Do you credit what exactly are you crediting? I'll ask this both you and Splodge Ball. What exactly are you crediting with the success of that channel? Like specifically,
you don't have to say vidIQ, by the way, because I always say at this point, we put signposts in the road, but the creator is the driver, and they are doing all of the hard work. And we just saying, yeah, you might want to go in that direction, and then you go in that direction at a safe driving speed, very cautiously, but you do it very well so that you get rewarded on your channel. It's a really terrible car driving metaphor. That I do apologize.
Because if you credit vidIQ in that way, I would understand. I think I would just be careful to say that I'm personally, this is just a personal opinion, I'm not a believer in shout outs doing a whole lot for a channel, because our audience has different interests than your audience. So by us saying, hey, you should all go watch this person's video, maybe that video will get some initial views and traffic, but that doesn't mean we've just set this channel on this trajectory. Instead, it's the value we provide and the tips we give that I would say helped, grow a channel like that.
It's a bit like, and please don't anyone take this the wrong way, because I think when you first start your channel, you just want some numbers. It's a bit like getting your friends and family to subscribe and watch your first videos. It's a nice gesture. They'll maybe watch one video and they'll subscribe, and you can get up to 15 subscribers. But ultimately, it's the general public audience and how they react to your content, which is going to start making your channel grow.
Yeah. I was early on the trend, I think, and hugely pushed the satisfying narrative and nice colors with audience retention.
There you go. What a fantastic answer that is.
Yeah.
That's your shortcut to YouTube Shorts right there. Satisfying narrative. I love that as a term.
Yeah. If you can get people to watch that whole video, if you can get them to rewatch the video, I mean, these are all signals. So like I saw someone earlier, how do I get noticed on Shorts? Well, be making content for that audience. Make it so fun to watch. They might have to watch it again.
Satisfying narrative. That's your answer. Thanks for the 40 people who liked the video about like this live stream. Now we're up to 327.
Wow. Thanks, everybody. Yeah. And welcome if you're just joining us. We're deep into our Q&A. We'll be here for a while answering your YouTube questions or questions about our tools. Feel free. All right, let's see here. We see this sometimes. How did my second newest video only get 14 views, in which I put so much time in, but the other 3 videos got 50 to 100 views? I think Travis actually tweeted something about this the other day. Like he had a similar situation where he worked really hard on this video, and then he posted a video that didn't do too well. He posted a video later that he just had to throw up, because it was time sensitive, and kaboom, tons of views. That is the nature of YouTube. It's why when people ask us like, how important is it to have like my editing down and stuff like that, I always say, no one knows you're putting in all that work if they don't click on the video in the first place. So having a good title and good thumbnails is the key, you know. And yes, your content should look good, but don't spend so much time on it that, you know, you're exhausted and then you have no energy to make a good thumbnail. You have no energy to research that title.
Yeah, I just had a quick look at the channel in the background, but I can't really see the videos that got like 100. I mean, there's a couple of videos from a month ago that got 100 views. Some Minecraft speedrun stuff and a satisfying survival edition. And then his recent ones, Hypixel Skyblock. So slightly different topic. You've gone on to Hypixel and Skyblock as your titles, whereas the ones before were Minecraft speedruns. So again, it's that audience of your audience, strictly speaking, wanting Hypixel stuff versus the Minecraft stuff. And it's the same game, Dan, isn't it? But the different mods. So maybe that's a server. Significant. Right. Okay.
Hypixel is a community, and so it's a massive community within Minecraft, and it features all these mini games and its own economy and all kinds of stuff. So there's a lot of content people do within Hypixel, and that's all about niching down. And you should test other niches too. If you don't think you're going to make hundreds of Hypixel videos, try other niches of Minecraft until you find one that both works with your audience and, you know, gets you excited to make
you
videos.
Also took a bit of a break here in that you did some Minecraft stuff a month ago, and then it looks like you took a 3-week break. And in the YouTube Minecraft world, that is an eternity.
Yep.
You know, people ask, "Am I okay to take a break?" And like, you don't ask that question in terms of your YouTube channel. Ask that question if you need to take a break, you know, for life reasons and mental health. Because the answer is always going to be yes, take a break. But if you just can't be bothered to make a video for whatever reason, or you want to do something else for a couple of weeks, it's basically YouTube procrastination. And YouTube is not going to wait for you. Like you don't have a direct conversation with YouTube and say, "Can you just hold on while I'm going to take a break for a couple of weeks, and then I'll get back to making Minecraft Hypixel stuff. Is it all right if you can just wait for me, YouTube?" And YouTube is going to say, "No, all of these 2,000 other creators have just made stuff about Hypixel. I'm going to get the stuff from them and show it to that audience because I serve the audience, not the channel." I know it sounds a bit like tough love, but that's YouTube, unfortunately. You think of, again, maybe try not to think of it as what YouTube wants. It's your audience. If you made a video and you got 100 views from it for a channel which has 21 subscribers, that's brilliant. Keep our audience engaged. Make something similar as soon as possible to a quality standard.
You got me thinking about something that I've never really considered until just now.
Oh, what's that, Dan?
And so just forgive my thought bubble here, and maybe you can go, "No, Dan, you're totally wrong." But I think that what this speaks to is, depending on what you're going to cover on your channel, would actually determine how many breaks you can afford to take. So in the Minecraft space, when you have new folks starting up their Minecraft channels every single day, and again, low barrier to entry, things like that, you do need to be on top of it. You do need to post.
It's relentless. I agree with that.
But if you have a channel that's super unique, that, you know, like Jake Fellman, for example. Jake Fellman isn't taking breaks anytime soon because he understands that he needs to keep content going. However, his content is so unique, I would argue he could probably afford to take a couple breaks, especially when the shorts gold rush kind of settles down a little bit. And because his content's so unique, when he comes back a couple days later, I don't think anything's going to be shredded completely for him. Maybe it's not the best example. I could see you're about to say no.
Well, it's true, but he also recognized the opportunity of YouTube Shorts, and he had to act there and then fast. We're speaking about Jake because we interviewed him on Monday, and I remember him saying that he just worked his absolute YouTube socks off in the month of February because he just knew that there was this impending mass rollout of YouTube Shorts, and he had to continue to establish himself as one of the premier, I guess, 3D animation channels in the Shorts environment. Now maybe, Dan, it could be an opportunity to take a break, or maybe do a video every other day, because he's got there now. He's kind of made it. He has 4 million subscribers, 2.5 billion views. Maybe he can afford to take a day off here and there. But when the opportunity is there, you have to strike. You know, when a new piece of tech is released, when there's a story that's really relevant to your audience and community, you have to be on the ball. I mean, that's why when I'm like literally sitting on the edge of my seat, waiting for the next YouTube Shorts piece of news to come out, and then I'm going to jump on it. That sometimes, it sometimes does feel like a bit of a YouTube rat race. Yeah. But you know, that's YouTube in some ways.
Yeah, I would never encourage someone not to take a break if they need it, no matter what you're doing. But just again, going back to barrier to entry, a lot of people can stream and record Minecraft really easily now. So if let's say hypothetically there's one new Minecraft channel a day, there's probably about one new VR channel every 5 days or 7 days. You know what I mean? Because VR is a more expensive hobby to get into, and you need a lot more tools in your tool belt. So Jake Fellman is an animator, and you have to learn a whole skill set and a whole program to even begin to make the kind of animation. So there's probably a new animation channel like that once every 2 weeks. So, and these aren't real numbers, but just to give you kind of an idea.
Made up numbers by Dan.
Yes.
Hopefully
thank you for joining me for Dan's made up numbers.
Alec Wald. Hope that's somewhere near correct on your surname. It's a live stream question, and we don't often answer these. So you live stream on YouTube and you have 219 subscribers, and you get 10 plus concurrent viewers. Do you think I'm doing good? And also break down my live streams into shorts and full videos. So, I mean, just take us as an example right now. We have 830,000 subscribers, and we have 240 people watching. So I think your ratio is actually better than us right now. I think to have 10 plus watching, when you think about it, live streams are quite a significant commitment because it demands that the viewer turns up at a specific time, and usually for a long period of time, like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, up an hour, in our case, 2 hours. So I think they represent your hardcore super fans. And I think that number's only going to grow as your channel gets bigger. I mean, if you can get up to 500 subscribers and have, 25, 30 plus concurrent viewers, that's awesome. And if you do a live stream for 2 hours, that's like 60 hours of watch time. I mean, if you are working towards monetization, that's 2% of your watch time. I'm not saying you should do that just for the excuse of getting watch time for monetization. Hopefully they're there and you're providing value. I think it's also great that you're experimenting with live streams at such an early part of your YouTube journey, because many of people leave this until they have thousands of subscribers. So building that close-knit community early on is great. And finally, repurposing the content into shorts and full videos is also a brilliant idea if that content is providing value as well. So yeah, I'd say it's all positives from me, Alec, on that question.
Yeah. That's a really good ratio. I would also just caution you to keep your channel focused. If you pivot, those hardcore fans might not be interested in the next game or the next thing you're doing. So just keep that in mind. You're building this audience, and yeah, that's awesome. That's quite a few people. If you have 10 concurrent viewers, that means people are leaving and coming in throughout the stream. You probably have 20 or 30 people cycling through your live stream. And that might be a modest guess. Maybe you have more. Maybe you looked at the numbers and you're like, actually, I have, 50 people cycling throughout the day. So congrats. That's something to be proud of for sure. All right. Quietly looking for questions.
Yeah, it was just that sudden awkward pause. It's the end of a question. All right, let's find another one. Dan, I guess what I will say, Dennis, while you find another one, is that make sure that your live streams are mostly for your community, because when we do these live streams, the channel audits and this Q&A session that we're doing right now, it's pretty much all about you. We're trying to give as much value back, and we're adding that extra incentive of making it as interactive as possible by auditing a channel or directly answering your questions. And who knows, in the future, we may set up a system where we can have people actually call in. We do have facilities to do this with StreamYards. I guess the question is just, how do we filter people in the right way? That's always been the challenge with live streams, because you never know what's going to come up.
Well, I mean, Rob and I have a lot of fun doing this. but we also have other interests too. We like games. We like SNL. You know, we could do a whole podcast about our thoughts on Falcon and Winter Soldier, but that's not
I have
what
no
you're here
thoughts. I haven't watched it yet. I usually wait for the all of the episodes to come out before delving into a series.
That's smart. Yeah.
Although saying that, I have watched the first episode of Line of Duty, which is a BBC police drama. Give us a thumbs up if anyone watches that. That is a good program.
The point is, you're not here to listen to us talk about that stuff. You know, we know that. We're here to give you value, and you know, we can have that conversation on our own. Maybe we'd start a separate channel, you know, for that. So just keep that in mind.
Dan and Rob show.
Yeah, the Dan and Rob show. The show about nothing. So Bori Piano says, how do I earn views on a music channel where you play the piano? We've been talking about music channels. Like the whole theme of this week has been music channels, I think, for us.
For us internally, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know without looking at your channel what type of music you're playing on piano. It looks like Rob is on it.
But how can you tell? How can you tell?
You just light up, and then your monitor lights you up because you start going.
Like a meerkat, though.
Yeah. Huh? Stats, numbers, titles. So, what are you looking at?
Yeah, I'm just looking at a channel in the background. You see, he's uploaded a video about us talking about Bori Piano, last week. So we've already answered the question from him, I guess.
Okay. Well, if you're not already, I would say the first thing you should be doing is making music that is covers of popular songs, and stick to the genre that you're comfortable in. But that's a great way to start, I think, as a music channel. Are you seeing anything that's jumping out at you?
So this is something a bit obvious, but none of the thumbnails have pianos in them. So I don't want to do a channel audit, though. We're not here to do channel audits.
We're not doing channel audits today.
Yeah.
But make it clear to the audience what it is you do on your channel is probably the message there. So if you play piano, look at the other people in your space who are playing piano on their channels. What do their thumbnails look like? I would have to imagine it's hands on a keyboard in a lot of those cases. And one tip we had from one of our music folks here was that if you are covered by a label, you should be putting the logo of that label in your thumbnails so people can recognize that, oh, it's music from this label I like, or this artist I like, or things like that.
I'm just adding this because when I just look at the thumbnails, like I'm not getting the piano vibe out of any of this, just as a first impression. And then when I mouse over the thumbnails, it looks as if there's some weird deep fake of, you know, like oil paintings of old musicians from the 17th and 18th century. And this just looks really strange. And I don't know what this has got to do necessarily with pianos directly.
These might be the portraits of the original artists, you know, composers.
So these biographies of the pianists. Why is there something about Mr. Beast? 50 subs. I mean, I'm getting a vibe of lack of channel focus here. Yeah, I'm going to take this off now because we're not doing channel audits.
Well, it's flattering to make videos. Oh, vidIQ talked about my channel. Does your audience, though, your audience that have been subscribing for piano content, really need to know about that? I mean, maybe that would go on a separate channel where you kind of do behind the scenes stuff. But I would focus more on making content that your audience can come to expect every single week. And if it's classical music you play, make it super clear by making the first thing in the title, you know, maybe the genre or the name of the song if it's well known. If you're going to cover popular songs, that's an even better way to get a start, I think, because you can stay on top of those trends and hopefully get people. Yeah.
Hey, Dan's cat. What is Dan's cat called today?
Desk cat.
Desk cat. I just want to add one more thing as well. Not about this channel, but look at our real-time stats bar now showing us that we're getting 6,000 views an hour. So that's how the live stream is impacting here. It's doubled our view counts as people are joining and leaving and whatnot. So just a really good example. You can see the little spike there in the 48 hours one, how it's gone up. Because I remember, Dan, when we looked at this, we were doing 148,000 views every 48 hours. And now we're doing 153 through this Q&A session.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's why I love this tool so much.
Thanks for being here and helping us with those metrics and hitting that like button.
Thanks for people joining the live stream, liking it, and then leaving, because we have 250 concurrents and 350 likes. It's awesome.
Funny. There you go. I mean, 10 concurrent viewers equals a lot more viewers than 10. I mean, just going back to that other question we had.
Sorry, I didn't want to answer this question. Is it? No, it's not this one either. No, it's this one. Sorry, right. Is this one right? Yeah, Rob from 323-316. I'll definitely remember that channel name. If I upload a video that gets a copyright claim and it holds up to 70% of my watch time, but I delete from YouTube later, so it will affect my chances of getting into YPP.
I think you're saying, well, so now it won't because they deleted it, is what the question is, I think. They've saved them. They got a claim that's on, like, fine, I'll get rid of the video. And that, like, are they still in danger of not making it into the program?
Right. Okay. So we have to answer this as people who don't work for YouTube, so we don't have the direct answers to this.
Correct.
But let me put it this way. What is the point in monetizing your channel if the content, the copyright owner can monetize your video anyway?
Mm-hmm.
That's my approach to this. Like, if you are using other people's content, and so it is in a roundabout fashion reuse content, there appears to me no incentive to monetize your channel, because YouTube are going to earn from it, or the copyright owner is earning from it anyway. YouTube wants to encourage original content, and I think these channels have a much higher chance of monetizing. But that's just my mindset answer. It's not a definite black or white answer. I just think that if you hit 4,000 hours of watch time, and let's say of that 4,000 hours of watch time, 2,500 hours, so more than 50% of it, came from a video that had copyrighted content on it and it was copyright claimed, then it feels to me as if you've not directly earned that watch time from your original content. But I know of creators who've said that they have copyright claims on some of their videos, but they still get monetized. It's kind of like, I mean, this isn't shady, because, you know, YouTube does have official mechanisms in place to allow copyrighted content to be used by creators. But if you're wanting to get into a business relationship with YouTube, which is what effectively you are doing with the YPP, you're not starting off on the best grounds if you're already using other people's copyrighted content.
Yeah.
I know that's a bit of a flaky answer, but it was like almost like a stream of consciousness in terms of copyright and YPP.
One thing that Jake said in our interview, which probably out in a few weeks on Tube Talk, our podcast, is he says one of his goals later is to get out of using other people's intellectual property in his content. Down the road, he'd like to make his own characters that have, you know, so
right,
he's making Among Us shorts and Minecraft shorts.
He's
hand animating all this stuff. So he's not like, it's not like he's reanimating someone else's artwork, but he still feels like he can do better. He can get out of using other people's IP. They're not going to come after him because that's just kind of the nature of the gaming space. Among Us and Minecraft appreciate people playing their games on YouTube, but he wants to eventually take these characters, and perhaps he wants to have options to monetize later on, you know, with his own intellectual property. He can't do that if he, you know, has Minecraft's intellectual property in there. And that's how serious he takes that stuff. So, you know, it's just to add on to what Rob was saying. You want to have a reliance on yourself more than anybody else in the space of YouTube.
Yeah, it goes back to actually a Tuesday, Dan, when you got quite irate about somebody who it looked like they'd just taken a thumbnail from somebody else's channel and used it on their content. And, you know, creators hate that. They hate it when other people are taking advantage of your content, especially if they can get it monetized. That is the ultimate, I guess, copyright content ID sin. And unfortunately it's rife. Now, I'm not saying 33316 this is what you've done, because it could be that you did a reaction to something which could be considered transformative content, but that can be really hard to prove to YouTube, especially if you don't have any direct communication with them when you're not part of a YouTube partner program. So I'm not saying that that's necessarily what you've done, but you must have been aware when you use this content that it's not necessarily yours, and you perhaps didn't have permission to use it. So I mean, the bottom line piece of advice is just don't use other people's content as much as possible. I mean, sometimes we use it at vidIQ. Like I remember in a video that we recently did about real-time subscribers, I just wanted to use a clip from Back to the Future, like a 3-second one, because it was kind of a bit of a joke within the video. Now, if we monetize our content, and I was really conscious of that, maybe I wouldn't have used it. But because we don't monetize our content, I'm less fussed about getting copyright claims. Not that we get many. I think on the 950 videos we made on the channel now, we've got maybe 2 or 3, and one was on purpose to prove whether or not you could use copyrighted content.
Yeah. Well, let's see. I see a Shorts question here from MC Shorts. That's interesting. We had a channel yesterday called Minecraft Shorts.
MC Shorts, huh?
So one thing I'm going to say about that is channel names are important. You want that channel name to be it's helpful if the audience knows what they're getting into, but you also want it to be more unique to you, so you have an easier time down the road. Anyway, so you start a Shorts channel, but should you post once a day or 2 times a day, or once a day or once 2 days or more than once a day? This question is kind of framed in such a way where you're kind of asking us permission as to what the right thing to do is. The right thing to do is make sure you can make content within the scope of your life. Do you have time to make content once a day? That's great. Do you have time to make 2 videos a day, but you'll be eating into other things like schoolwork or work, or you know what I mean? Will you burn out quickly if you make more than 1 video a week? These are all questions you have to ask yourself. We can't really answer them for you. But what we can say is that we know Shorts are kind of about velocity right now.
Yeah.
And the more you can stand to post as often as possible, I would say twice a day is a little excessive. I would say I would do the very most I would personally recommend is once a day, but that's just, you can do twice if you want to. Yeah, if you have the capacity to do as much as possible, do as much as possible, but don't feel like I'm supposed to do Shorts twice a day. That's how Shorts works. That's not the case.
Yeah. Let's go with a general recommendation of 1 short a day. Seems like a good cadence, but obviously, does it fit into your responsibilities as a human being? Do you have time to do 1 short a day? Consider that as well. Don't overstretch yourself if after a week you're really struggling to do 1 video a day.
All right, I'm going to jump ahead here in chat because I was scrolled up quite a bit. Do you want to pick one?
Yeah, I can try this one. Poke Art. Do tags matter? Because I know someone who removed tags and placed them in their description and got much bigger and better results. But when I do it, it does not work. I don't understand. So the short answer is tags really are mattering less and less and less. I don't want to say categorically they don't matter at all, because then the question will be, why on earth are tags still there? YouTube says that they're used now for correcting misspellings, common misspellings, and so on. But I still think that feels like just a bit of a cop-out. But anyway, this person apparently who took their tags and stuck them in the description, as far as I'm aware, that is against terms of service, or it's against community guidelines. This was traditionally known as tag stuffing, whereby you're not writing coherent sentences, you're just lobbing words into the description in the hope that improves SEO. I still think there's no evidence to prove this one way or the other. Maybe it worked for this one channel, but maybe they changed the thumbnail and the title at the same time. We don't know what the circumstances are there. But I would recommend it just from a YouTube guidelines point of view that you shouldn't do that, because you may end up having your channel getting a community strike. I think that might be for spam and misleading. I can't remember what the exact phrasing is there, but misleading titles or spam content. In terms of tags, the box is still there, so I still encourage people to fill it. But I think what we actually showed, Dan, maybe a couple of weeks ago when we were doing keyword research, is that with tools such as vidIQ, you can very quickly use a paperclip tool to copy a lot of tags from another channel's videos, put them in your video tags, delete the ones that are not appropriate to you, and then add a few more that are appropriate to your video. And that is now a 1 or 2 minute job. And I think that's as far as you should take your tags. Having said that, all of the tags represent keywords, and all of the keywords represent the language of your topic. And you do want to be familiar with all of those different keywords and phrases to know whether those are trending in your space, whether it be on YouTube search, as Twitter hashtags, etc. Being familiar with your keywords. For example, like Dan, let's do this. I'm going to lose, but let's do this. Minecraft, we're going to say a keyword each. Okay, so I'll start. Minecraft.
Minecraft survival.
Hypixel.
Hypixel Bed Wars.
I was going to say Bed Wars. Yeah. Version 1.16.
Oh, 1.16.
You're just saying the same as me, but adding something. You're cheating.
This is. I'm better at it than you all.
Ender Dragon.
Wither.
Pickaxe.
Shovel.
See, I've lost. I've run out. But now Dan could probably carry on with more Minecraft keywords and phrases because he knows the language better of that.
Speed run.
There you go. So that's where we're talking about your knowledge and understanding of a topic and how you can share that passion. So that's where
Justin Bieber
tags. Justin Bieber is part of Minecraft. What?
No, it used to be you could just put them in your tags and you'd get 1 million views.
All right. Okay. Fine, Dan. You're really not helping here. Well, I've lost my complete train of thought now because all I'm thinking about is Justin Bieber. Well, I was saying, yeah, tags. Try and turn that idea of tags into keywords, and that's what you need to be studying to understand your topic better.
Make your description make your description human readable too. I mean, don't just take tags and put it like we don't even think it's
Billie Eilish.
We don't even think you can really do that on YouTube. You're not supposed to do that, but yeah. And also don't worry too much about derailing Dan. I like that nickname.
John Legend.
Don't worry too much about what this other channel did because it could have been any number of things. Maybe they've been testing stuff for a long time and it has nothing to do with the tags in their description. So, all right.
We've put the tags conversation to bed.
Yes. For anyone asking questions about tags, I think we answered all of them. So next question. Let's see.
What have we got next here? All right. The chat keeps moving.
I found one.
All right. Oh, well, let's answer this one then. Is text necessary on thumbnails? I prefer mine without, but wherever if I change them, it could negatively affect my CTR. Well, the first answer to this is test. You'll get your answer by testing. And don't be afraid to test because you found previous YouTube success by testing. And I think people always worry that once they found success, they don't want to test anything else because they're afraid of damaging the success they already have. But you can always go back to what worked. But I always encourage testing. I always encourage people to embrace the idea of less text, sometimes no text, but it sounds like you are already testing thumbnails that have no text whatsoever. Here's another thing I always suggest. Go to your channel, click on the videos tab, scroll down until you can see nothing but your thumbnails, and then just objectively look at them and say, are my eyes darting around the screen because they can't focus on particular thumbnails? Or is each individual thumbnail kind of selling itself quite powerfully? You'll often find that if the more text you have on thumbnails, the more chaotic and jumbled they look versus other thumbnails of a similar nature. And then your eyes get tired very quickly. But then when the thumbnails focus more on imagery and text and vibrancy, then your eyes are drawn to particular thumbnails more often than not.
Also, I think general thumbnail practice would dictate that your thumbnail should create a light bulb moment for the person who's going to watch the video.
Instantly, if possible.
Yeah. So if you're looking to improve thumbnails across the board and you're thinking text might be it, I mean, maybe just take a look at what your video is promising and does the thumbnail indicate that in some way? Are people going to, just by looking at your thumbnail, know, oh, cool, I'm going to learn how to make this, this cookie that's being promised in the title or whatever it would be.
I completely lost the other question I was trying to find then, unfortunately, Dan. There's something about return viewers. I don't know where it went. So I do apologize, whoever posted that question. I'm trying to find it now. Oh, here we go. So this comes from Kivo Mitologico.
You tried.
I did try, but I tried very poorly. I do apologize. Returning views analytic. My purple line is often above the blue one. That's a good thing, but I fear YouTube isn't showing my videos to new people. How can I fix this? Yeah. So I am now starting to do a bit more research on this return viewers metric. I will still maintain that having your purple line, which is your return viewers, above new viewers is a better thing to have, because it means that your audience is returning on a regular basis and you're keeping them loyal and sticky. The challenge is now to go out and find a new audience. What could be happening is that you're in a topic which is less popular or dying a little bit right now. I think the example I've used before is that, let's say you're covering a television series or indeed a video game that was very popular once, and that brought in a core loyal audience who are going to stick around and follow up for a long time. But the general overall interest is starting to decline. So YouTube is finding it more difficult to find a new audience. So this might be you move from Game of Thrones to the next big fantasy television series, whatever that is. If it's a game, then maybe it's Fortnite. You're moving to well, Apex Legends was the next natural progression. Then it was PUBG. Now it's maybe Call of Duty mobile, like first-person shooters. So you're trying to keep up with the trends, but hopefully keeping your existing audience interested. But that is a very difficult balancing act. I think that's one of the biggest challenges on YouTube, is trying to get, I guess, maybe those blue and purple lines as close to each other as possible, but also going up at the same time.
Yeah, one of my things that I like to see is when the line they leapfrog each other. You know, your videos are doing well for your new audience, so it brings people back to the channel.
I did that once.
Yep. And what you want to do is have these lines, if make them look like a DNA strand, where they're kind of interchanging amongst one another. I think that would be the perfect symbiosis. I don't think that's necessarily possible depending on the type of channel. Like we're going to appeal to more new people because we make a lot of search-driven content.
It is interesting. I've been wrestling with this over the last 2 weeks, Dan. As you can see, the purple line is starting to drift away from the blue line again. Yeah. And I think the reason that is because I did some videos on the tax update, which was obviously popular to the general YouTube audience. And so that picked up some new viewers. But it looks as if they're not necessarily interested in anything else I'm talking about. We've also done some more YouTube short stuff, again, appealing to a new audience, but are they sticking around? It's when I was making videos about the YouTube algorithm and such that people were returning. So I've got this dilemma, because I'm telling people to use this graph because it's going to help you grow your channel. And then I've kind of ignored it and I've abandoned it in the last couple of weeks. So I know what I've done wrong. I'm guilty of it. I just need to teach myself to follow the numbers. And I haven't done that. But do I just want to make videos about the YouTube algorithm all of the time?
Right. Well, sometimes you're covering news too. So it's going to, determine the type of content you basically have to make.
Yep.
And that's going to change things too. But you want to take a look at just the different videos you posted and keep in mind what's happening in the chart above it. So it makes sense that when you post a video, like returning viewers might spike a bit on that day because you've just posted a video and people are returning to watch it. However, this video is going to determine down the road if you're going to get more returning viewers when you post another video. So you just have to kind of analyze it. Like, I posted this video about 1,000 subscribers, and then later the graph kind of, leveled out. Hopefully I'm making any sense at all. These are down here for a reason, was all I was trying to point out. So you can kind of study them. Like, this is the day I posted the how to start a gaming channel video. And then from there, we lost returning viewers. Dan, never make one of those again,
What I will say is that YouTube do need to help us out a little bit more with this analytic and put this at an individual video level. So you can truly determine how many return viewers went to that specific video, because as you say, Dan, we see that purple line that just leapfrogged the blue line on that one day, and I assume it's because of that video I launched, but I don't have definitive proof.
Right.
I'm only going off the channel data, where I'd love to go off the video data. If I knew it was all of those return viewers coming back from an algorithm video, then maybe that would influence me even more to say, right, I'm going to do a series on how to beat the YouTube algorithm, etc., etc.
We have really basic facts. Here's how many viewers you had, both new and returning, on this day. Yeah. Also, here's a video you published on this day, but those two things don't necessarily correlate, every time.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, moving on to our next question. Let's see here. We're very quiet now because we're both reading.
Yeah. The silence is deafening.
Yes.
In this silence, can you get us up to 400 likes? Because we're at 396.
Chat's moving so fast. I start to read one, it jumps on me. So part of the reason I'm not picking some of these is because they're kind of vague, or they don't really have, clear answers.
What's this one?
Okay,
Sounds like someone's going through an existential YouTube crisis here. Scream Queen Gaming. We're struggling to get a video out in time recently, so I created a short saying videos back soon, and me playing a ukulele. It blew up. I panicked and made private. Did I do the right thing? What is going on there? Oh, you've obviously hid the private of the video. So it sounds like this. What it sounds like is that you're a gaming. I assume you're a gaming channel, but you also have a talent for playing the ukulele, and you made this video which was kind of just to cover your back because you're not trying to make a proper video, and you played the ukulele. And YouTube Shorts, was it a YouTube short? Oh, it's not.
That's what they said. They said they made a YouTube short.
So you made a short, and YouTube went, "Oh, ukulele! We've not got many ukulele shorts right now. Let's serve this up to an audience." And now everybody thinks you're a ukulele shorts channel. Yes, that is a bit of a conundrum. Maybe you should start a ukulele shorts channel.
I just pulled up their channel. I was gonna say, if you have the community tab, that's where I would have put that announcement. By the way, shorts aren't like a great place to put channel announcements because they're kind of in another part of YouTube. You're going to reach a lot of new people with that short. And so you're not really telling your audience, hey, I'm taking a break or I'm going to be back soon. You're telling potentially a bunch of people who've never heard of you before that information. What you might consider now that you know this is perhaps setting up a channel where you play songs on the ukulele. I would start with that video that you removed on that new channel. And, because I wouldn't take your gaming channel and make it into that type of content. But yeah, this is what sometimes, like, we'll cover channels that they're a gaming channel, but they decide to cover a new piece of tech or software they're using, and that video blows up, and then they're like, wait, what happened?
Yeah, so then you got a problem.
Then you have a problem. Are you a tech channel now?
It's a good problem. Because you've got some recognition, but it's not necessary. It's a good data problem, but perhaps not a good creative problem, because now it's like, what do I make? What content am I supposed to make? I want to make this content for this audience, but there's now another audience saying, yeah, I like that. Can you make some more, please?
Yeah. So you'll have to, kind of decide from there, but good luck. The ukulele content, that's the secret to shorts right now. But doing something that a lot of people can't do, honestly.
Indeed, yeah.
Let's see here. Still looking for questions.
We audited this channel yesterday, but they've got a question here. Yeah, Quiz Ninja. Were they the Discord pick or the Twitter pick? I'm trying to remember.
It was I think this is the Discord pick.
So I have carried my thumbnail branding over to my second quiz channel, but using my other color scheme to bring fluidity between the channels. Is this a good idea, or should it be different? I think that having brand consistency across multiple channels would be a good thing for me, because the viewers probably, if they're not subscribed, they probably might not even be aware that it's a different channel, but they know it's from this creator. And I think that association is good. You're very early on in your YouTube journey as well. I think certainly on the channel we looked at yesterday. So I don't think I would be too worried about this right now. You see, the branding and the quality of your thumbnails was so good anyway.
Why reinvent the wheel?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think we'd probably have to look at both channels specifically to get a further idea of, the fluidity as you describe it, or perhaps them being too close together. So I've kind of pulled up this question without knowing what answer to provide.
I do that all the time.
Yeah. I think that's a headache to worry about later on, Quiz Ninja. Just given where you are right now and already the quality of your channel, and I can't find it either. So yeah, I can't offer any more.
I did pull up another one here. When you're ready.
Yeah, go ahead then. So it's Teaser Brain Quiz. Is that the main channel?
Well, that was. Oh, now I don't know because we did 2 quiz channels yesterday. And now that one sounds like the other one we did.
So Teaser Brain Quiz. I think that's because I was confused as to their handle on Twitter, which had a different icon. So they've got a main channel, which is Teaser Brain Quiz, which is 10,000, and then Quiz Ninja, which I think they've just started. But the branding on the thumbnails looks very different to me. I think internally, like the way the timer ticks down and the music and the images, that kind of looks like a similar theme. But yeah, I wouldn't be too concerned about that right now. I think just test it over the next 3 to 6 months and see if you do need to do any differentiation. But I would suggest not, just given the quality of your setup right now.
Excuse me. I read this question that I pulled up the wrong way, and now I'm confused because I thought they were asking if the hashtag tags in your descriptions work. I think they're asking tags without the hashtag in the descriptions work. In which case, I would say don't put your tags. We kind of talked about this earlier. Don't put your tags in your description. You can certainly put keyword phrases within a human readable description. I've certainly done that. And then as for hashtags in your description, those are for helping categorize your videos in another space on YouTube, and they're not. A lot of people don't really use them. We have ours, I think, on every video. If you click on them, you'll just see all the different videos we've made with those hashtags, and then anyone else who's decided to use them too. But then YouTube is creating a new space for these, whereby if you type in the hashtag, like if you do with hashtag shorts, you can see this page, this landing page for all these different shorts. And so they may have a purpose coming up soon, but it's kind of hard to say where they're going with it.
This is interesting. Shall we see what happens here?
But,
yeah, it's so. I should just add as well, YouTube does encourage you to actually use hashtags in your description, and they say that you can use a maximum of 15, but only 3 will appear above your title.
Yeah.
On desktop. Yeah, on desktop. So apparently there's 5,000 videos and 2,000 channels, and obviously we're going to be at the top here. But yeah, there's other people using hashtag vidIQs. I wonder if half of these are how to crack vidIQ. We get a lot of channels from the Asian continent, which just tell you how to get it to pro and whatever, and none of them work, I might add. So yeah. But it's good to see that it's good to see that we kind of dominate the top row here with some older videos as well. It might be. It's because we don't use that hashtag anymore. It's what is it? Hashtag more subscribers, hashtag more views, hashtag growing 2021 or something like that.
1.9K channels are using this hashtag.
Yeah.
That's quite a bit.
Anyway.
Thank you for the super sticker. We probably missed some of these throughout the day. I see one at the top here too from DWN or DW Nunchuck. So thank you for that. And the Lessons for Life. Appreciate you. Certainly not required to do anything like that, but we appreciate it.
Not on this channel, no.
No, we appreciate it on this channel.
No, I just mean super chats are not required for
questions being answered, channel
questions
audits.
being answered, channel audits, etc., etc. Yeah.
All right, here you go. That's for you while I look for a question.
No, because it's the same as last year when I think there's a limited audience this time. I think there's going to be a crowd, isn't there, at the James Raymond Stadium? I think Dan H would be better equipped to answer this question. Last year it was atrocious, and the card isn't looking good. Brock Lesnar's not there. I mean, Edge versus Roman Reigns, that might be interesting. I cancelled my subscription after last year's WrestleMania. So I may follow some of the reaction, but I'm not about to spend 4 hours on Saturday and Sunday night watching it right now. I've definitely gone lapsed again in my wrestling interest.
So I posted gaming videos like Fortnite. I mostly play weekly, and I use tags and decent thumbnails. So do you have any advice? Because I haven't been growing with 20 subs and usually 30 views. Kind of a general question of like, how can I get more views and subscribers? We see this a lot. We're not doing channel audits today, so we don't have your channel in front of us or anything like that. But it sounds like you're just coming up against that problem that a lot of newer channels have, where I'm doing the things the people say. I'm putting a thumbnail. I have my titles. I got my tags. But it's more than that too. Are you doing something in Fortnite that is going to be helpful to somebody? Are you doing something that nobody else is doing, or are you kind of just following the example that massive Fortnite channels have set before you? Where you're just kind of playing Fortnite. The titles aren't really searchable because you're a new channel. You're gonna have to depend heavily on search. So try to figure out things going on in the Fortnite community, and then can you talk about those things? Can you bring any value to that audience? Do you have anything?
I would say your thumbnails could be better. So this is like, you got to look at your channel objectively. The thumbnails could use work, and your titles aren't very searchable either. So that's going back to Dan talking about how-tos, news updates, etc., etc. Just one example: do meme strats still work in 2021? That doesn't mention the game, for one thing. Although that was one of the more popular videos. And then another one, vid news, why I didn't post. That's not searchable in any way, shape, or form. That might be a video about you, though.
Yeah, and those are not really necessary either.
So yeah, there's a couple of tips. Thumbnails and titling strategies, I think, are what you should be working on.
Best of luck. Let's see here. All right. So struggling with watch time on your gaming videos. So what are the best ways to increase watch time on a gaming video? Well, similar to the last channel, be sure you're making videos that are bringing some value to folks. If you're going after watch time, you're trying to go after monetization, perhaps. You can't really make the videos any longer than they need to be for the sake of watch time. So you're going to turn people away. If people click off your videos enough, YouTube sees that as a signal that people don't like the video and they don't recommend it as much. So if you're doing a tutorial, a lot of people would say you should make that tutorial kind of short. People want the information as quick as they can so they can get back to playing the game. You know what I mean? So meanwhile, if you're doing a Let's Play, you have to then get people to find that Let's Play. I know the cat's so distracting. You have to get people to find that Let's Play in the first place. So you should probably add some value to that. But that's kind of when you can increase your watch time a little bit, because you can, I'm going to teach you how to do this thing, but we're also going to go on an adventure while we do it. You have to experiment. There's no easy way to answer questions like this, but I picked it anyway because I saw it pop up. It was right in front of me.
Look at your audience retention. I think this is where you want to start. And look at that first 30 seconds and how many viewers are dropping off in that first 30 seconds, because you can't get those viewers back once they've abandoned your content. So start there, and that will mean creating a more intriguing intro with a better hook. I think once viewers are invested at that point, then they are going to naturally stay for a little bit longer. But yeah, focus on that first 30 seconds if you're having difficulties with watch time. Westy Radio, the classic YouTube dilemma here. You put hours, days into each video, and there are barely any views. I'm relatively new, but how can a channel stay motivated when this is the case? So this, Dan, this is where it comes back to my philosophy to begin with of quantity over quality. What I mean by that is that I think it's more beneficial to crank out more videos, still of a relatively good quality, but not putting your heart and soul into these first videos. Because as a new channel, you need to understand a little bit more than just the content itself. Yes, I don't disagree that that is super important. But are you spending enough time on the thumbnail and the title to grab the audience's attention? Because time is currency, and you have usually about a second to grab a potential viewer's interest as they're scrolling up and down a feed. So maybe spend a little less time on the content, whether it's something that it's a graphic that takes you ages to make, or you're spending so long on very precise jump cuts and editing. Maybe spend a little less time on that and a bit more time on the thumbnails. Again, we're saying this without encountering your channel. Also, creating more content to begin with is going to just mean that you're putting in the effort in terms of repetition and gaining that experience of like the whole creating process, because it sounds like you think you're already pretty good at making video content, but you're not sure if your audience is reacting very well to it, because maybe you don't have enough videos out there and there's not enough of a sample size. Those would be my general pieces of advice for you. And just finally, YouTube is hard. It is kind of a little soul destroying to begin with when you're making content and you're being ignored, and everybody goes through this to begin with. So this is another reason why I say you should make quite a few videos, because you want to know if you love the video creating process, because if you do and you become successful, you're going to be doing a hell of a lot of it. You're going to be making a lot more videos.
I did pull up the channel just real quick, and one thing I saw was that they're doing a lot of that long form, like lo-fi kind of content and stuff like that. And a lot of people in that space have it kind of locked down because you're competing against 24-hour live streaming channels. And you just want to, the point of that is you want to understand the space you're in. So do some research on how other people are, A, like covering this content, and B, maybe even putting these live streams together. Can you learn how to do that so you can compete a little bit better? But yeah, it's a tough space to get into.
And I'm going to say this, Wested Radio, with 84 subscribers and the fact that every single one of your videos is getting more views than subscribers, and you've been at this for a week, basically, because you took a big break, you're actually doing really well on YouTube. I don't think you realize how well these videos are performing for your channel, because there's a lot of these meditation or long form relaxation music channels that never get any of this type of view count in the first year. So I think you're putting a bit too much pressure on yourself right now. I think you're already ahead of the game a little bit in that sense. The one thing I will say, and we're going to go back to this thing about copyright and whatnot, that thumbnail looks very familiar to me, doesn't it? The Harry Potter one. What's the big live streaming channel that does this every day?
There's just the lo-fi beats. I'm sure a lot of people have seen it.
Yeah, the one with the girl wearing headphones and just writing. I just hope that it is your original content, and if it is, it looks fantastic. It's brilliant, but it feels a little too similar to what I've already seen on YouTube.
Yeah, you want to be really careful about reusing content. And, it doesn't, like, just if we were to audit the channel, one of the things I would say is it doesn't look any more unique than some of the other channels in this space. So again, that just comes down to kind of competitor research and figuring out how you can stand out amongst the crowd.
But yeah, for less than 10 videos to already have 10,000 views, I mean, I guess for these relaxation channels, you can kind of forget about the subscriber counts a little bit. I think you're doing really well.
Yeah. Best of luck. Let's see here. Oh, I saw one that was kind of.
It's also. I should also mention, this is also evergreen content as well. You have to appreciate that these videos are probably going to continue to pay back to you in 12 months' time. So they can just be slow starters. Feels as if they're already starting to find some of these videos, especially, are just getting a bit of traction, which is good.
Let's see. A lot of duplicate questions that we've answered already today, so I'm struggling here.
I am still looking as well.
Sorry, everybody. I guess this is a good sign that we're answering a lot of these questions today.
I see there's some. I do like to do a bit where we have questions not about YouTube, and there's one here that I want to answer.
All
right. So, question: I'm a Scouser. So, for those of you who are not aware of what a Scouser is, that's people who live in Liverpool, and they have a very distinct accent that I'm not going to try and repeat because the painting and plein air with David Wood made find that a little offensive. But my brother is a big Liverpool fan, so I will say that. So my accent is originally from Yorkshire. I'm from the Huddersfield area, so you're very welcome for Bill Shankly. That's if you're a Liverpool fan. If you're an Everton fan, then I'm getting this completely wrong. And you might not even be a football fan. Now, what I will say is that for YouTube purposes and for where I live in Vancouver, it is a bit of a diluted Yorkshire accent because whenever I'm ordering food in a restaurant, I have to repeat myself because they don't catch my accent the first time I say, can I have a burger and chips? Like, well, I've done that wrong already because it should be burger and fries, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm not saying I'm losing my Yorkshire accent because when I'm talking to my fiance, friends and family, it all comes flooding back. But there is this kind of weird accent that I use. And I've always thought about whether I should just go back to thick Northern Yorkshire accent for one of my videos to see if anybody would have a clue what I'm saying. So not a YouTube question there, painting and plein air, but I hope you found that useful.
Are shorter videos bad? I make videos less than 5 minutes, but still only have about 50% average view duration. Would longer videos help this increase?
I would like 50% audience view duration on my videos.
Yeah, I think if you can get above the 50% line on an average, that's actually really good for YouTube. You might even test a longer video, like add a minute to it, as long as it's appropriate. I still like the advice of don't make your videos longer than they need to be, just for the purpose of like increasing your watch time.
Yeah, sorry, Dan, I don't want to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
So my two answers to this are, for the next video that you want to make, have an idea of what the title is, put that title into YouTube search, and for the top 10 videos in that search, try and get an average view duration, because you can learn so much from that. For example, how to tie a tie, the average video length is about 3 minutes. How to build a PC game, how to build a gaming PC is around 20 minutes. And there's obvious reasons for that. Mm-hmm. So see what the average is, but then according to your own data, you're getting above 50% average view duration. I think that gives you license to test longer videos. So let's say it's currently 5 minutes. Average view duration is 50%. So that's about 2.5 minutes. Let's say your next video is 8 minutes. And if it's still 50% audience view duration, you're getting more watch time, basically. You get an average view duration of 4 minutes. And it's not really impacted your audience. So as we always say, test, find out. There is no right or wrong answer. We can give you general bits of advice, but it usually comes down to the data on your channel.
All right. This channel name makes a little more sense now, Poke Art. I draw Pokemon and I spend a lot of days into each video. The reach is fine, but no viewers are clicking. And if they do, they go in for about 30 seconds, I guess, and they leave. What's good click-through rate and audience retention for this? If people are leaving 30 seconds in, unless your video is like 30 seconds or a minute long, I would say that's not great. Look at what other channels are doing in this space. Once again, I know I've been saying that a lot today, but watch some other artists. Are they doing, speed drawing? Like I see that a lot. You know what I mean? That could be something. The point is, try to get an audience they know what to expect when they click on the content. If they watch a lot of drawing content, there's a way they probably prefer it done. So I totally I had something I was going to say and I just crashed and burned.
Do you want to fill in?
Yes, I could use a little bit of save here.
I think you do have to accept that you are always going to get a significant audience drop off in the first 30 seconds. That is unavoidable. I think if you're keeping your audience view duration above 70% in the first 30 seconds, you're doing a pretty good job. I think that the best creators are usually in the 80s and 90s. So, you do want to make sure that you're not thinking that you're doing a bad job, where you might be doing a good job in that sense. I think there's also a tendency for people to abandon the video quickly as well if they don't get what they need in the first 30 seconds and it is a longer video. Like we see this in our live streams quite a lot, that people just jump in and then quickly jump out because they realize that they don't want to spend 2 hours listening to us answer questions. That's fair enough. We're not there to serve those people. We're here to serve the 240 people who are watching right now. This question of what is a good CTR and audience retention rate, it is so difficult to answer. In terms of good click-through rate, my answer is simply this. What is it today? Benchmark that and aim to improve on it in the next 3 to 6 months, because it is a long process. Even if you can get your click-through rate from 5% to 7%, that is a significant increase in click-through rate. And what might happen then is that your impressions increase because YouTube wants to share it with more people because it's performing well, and the click-through rate goes back down. So we can't just give you a number on that. And again, audience retention, there is an option where you can change it to relative audience retention. So instead of just showing you the raw number of percentages, it compares your video versus similar videos in your space and tells you whether or not you're doing a good job. So you can use that as a barometer as well as to how well your videos are performing. Is that enough time to help you out there, Don, or have you switched off? Did you? Have you not got an answer?
No. I just found the next question is all. I
agree
with everything you said.
Thank you.
One of my videos got 10,000 views on Shorts, but nobody subbed. How do I get them to actually subscribe? Because Shorts don't recommend my videos next. And how do I get more views than 10,000? You're kind of in the Shorts conundrum right now, where there's no clear answers and everybody's always confused forever and ever. I think that for one thing, as Rob's been saying, subscribers are dead. There's no point to them, and that a lot of that I think is largely to blame on Shorts. So you shouldn't really be making Shorts hoping that these people subscribe and come back, because the tests we've done time and time again have shown that yes, people will subscribe from Shorts, but certainly a very small percentage compared to how many views you get, at least in my experience. And then they don't come back to watch the long form content. And I think that's because these folks are used to watching short form videos. That's what they're on YouTube watching. And so that's what they keep getting served up. It looked like you were pulling something up, so I wanted to give you a chance.
I was just looking at the channel in the background.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying that I think subscribers are dead on YouTube. I think they're even less valuable for Shorts channels. I almost feel as if a subscriber gain from a YouTube short should be called something different, like Shorties, because I still don't know whether YouTube recommends your long form content if you watch some short form content. What I would be most focused on here is making sure that you create similar shorts to the ones that were successful. For example, the Epic Bed Wars Bed Break one did really well. You should do more Epic Bed Wars Mattress Break, or I don't know, whatever is connected to Bed Wars there. Because I think what's more important for you is return viewers. And yeah, I'm still trying to understand how your content is served to future Shorts viewers, because I think usually people who are going to encounter your Shorts whereby they maybe watch somebody else's Shorts, but then yours is like second or third in the queue as you swipe up. I assume that's where people are getting most of their Shorts, not necessarily from the subscribe list or from a recommendation page, because the traffic source is different. I mean, I didn't know this, Dan. I still question whether this is true or not. If you, let's say you're on a home page of the mobile app. No, because they're still classed as regular views, aren't they? Let's say you're on a subscription feed and you're scrolling through and you see a video that has the Shorts icon in the bottom right hand corner.
Yeah.
As far as I'm aware, if you tap on that video and then you watch it through the Shorts player, that's not classed as a Shorts view. That's classed as a subscriptions feed view, which makes it even more confusing.
Yeah.
As far as I'm aware, a shorts view only counts if you watch it, I think, from the shorts shelf, I think, or if you're the next video in the list, like you watch the first shorts video, then you swipe up, then that's counted as a shorts view. That, as I say, it sounds really confusing. I can't get my head around it. But I think it's all about recommendations, what's up next, rather than subscribers. I don't know what future subscribers has in terms of a data point, especially on YouTube Shorts.
I was going to say, because I told Rob about this before we went live, I want to show him off the stream later a conundrum I'm having with my own Shorts channel I'm experimenting with, where all of my Shorts lately have been saying the views are coming from browse. And sometimes they hit Shorts as well, but browse seems to be the dominant force. And I'm very confused by that. And one of my working theories is that what if, when you go onto your homepage on your phone, if YouTube pushes you with a short shelf, that's technically browse, because these are channels that you've seen before. So you become like a returning viewer, and therefore you didn't come from the shorts views, you came from browse. I don't know if that adds up. It feels like that has holes in it, but there's a lot we don't know is the whole point. We're all very confused. I think YouTube is still figuring this out for themselves as well.
Yeah, it's still in beta, so we have to allow that patience a little bit from there. All right, I think, Dan, we should... I want to do this, as we get to the end of this live stream. I want non-YouTube questions. Now, I don't ask us personal questions because we just won't answer them. But I think this is how we got onto me humming some gaming music last week. But I'm not going to do that this week. We've already had one question about somebody asking me about my accent. So if you have any non-YouTube questions for the next 5-10 minutes, then I'm willing to answer them. Are you up for that, Dan? Or are you going to still answer questions? All right.
I'm still going to be selective, but sure.
Sure, yeah. So hashtag non-YouTube question maybe will help us out.
Let's see here.
Dan asked us, right? So this is an example, but Dan, I'm sure you asked me this question last week, and I said
someone did.
I said Disney World.
I said Disney World.
Oh, did you? What did I say then?
I think you agreed with me.
Yeah, because that's where I wanted to spend my honeymoon in Orlando. But it ain't gonna happen.
It has to be clean Disney World, though. I'm not going while it's dirty Disney World.
I love potatoes. My fiance made a delicious cottage pie last night, actually, with mashed potatoes, and we will be continuing to eat that at some point this week. So yeah, thanks for that question.
I don't eat potatoes to make carbs, but I do like them. No, not that one. Hold on.
What was that?
I didn't even read it. It's not the one I wanted.
You just clicked off.
Here we go.
All right.
How do you separate work, private time, work-life balance? When you do YouTube as a hobby and YouTube is part of your job, you find ways to draw the lines, but when you do all that work at one desk, sometimes the lines get blurry for you. You don't really know when you've stopped working sometimes. Like, I know I'm not doing this for my job, but oh my gosh, my back hurts.
Your room's multi-purpose, isn't it, Dan? So you'd never truly escape the YouTube environment, so to speak.
Yeah, I have this multi-purpose setup, and if I want to play games, half of that happens in here, half of it happens on my Switch.
Okay.
If I want to make a video for myself, that happens in here. But it's important to just love what you do. I don't know if you have anything to add.
So I feel as if I have a good work-life balance right now. This is a spare bedroom, which has been turned into an office. So I can just close the door and remove myself from this environment as and when I need to. And I made a decision, I think, 6 months into working at vidIQ. I still don't know whether this is the right decision long-term for me in the long-term future, but I also have my own YouTube channel, and I just decided at that point, you know what? I can't keep doing this. I can't keep running my own YouTube channel and putting everything I have into vidIQ as well. So I just decided to sacrifice my own channel. And so that's just kind of mothballed. It's dying away. But I think my work-life balance has truly benefited from that, because I can now just step away from work vidIQ when I need to whereas trying to run my own channel was just too much. And I give a lot of credit to people like Travis and El Jefe who continue to have their own personal YouTube channels. And you, Dan, to an extent, you sort of run your own little YouTube channels. I think it's different for me in that all I do almost every single day is create, and I just can't do that after hours now. And I think I also made a decision as well to just step away from social media when it's not vidIQ. So when I do respond to tweets and post Instagram stuff, I just do it as Robert vidIQ, but I don't have my own personal channel, just so I can step away from the YouTube world as I need to. But as I say, I'm maybe missing out on opportunities there, like having a little side, like my own YouTube channel used to be my side hustle when I had a full-time job. And maybe I should have kept my own channel as a continued side hustle to do things that I really want to do. But yeah, it was exhausting. I would have burnt out a long time ago if I decided not to make that clear delineation between my time and YouTube's time, so to speak, which is pretty much with vidIQ now. That was a really long answer. I hope that was a bit of an interesting insight there.
Yeah. The answer to this question is Avengers, so I think I win.
Easy. So they've ruined the DC universe film-wise. What I will say is that the Christopher Nolan Batman trilogy is probably the best superhero trilogy there is out there.
Thank you. Yeah.
But since I brought in Ben Affleck and what's his face, Henry Cavill,
something like that.
Man of Steel was appalling. It was a dreadful superhero movie.
The Batman and Superman. That's how I feel about Batman versus Superman.
I mean,
hated it.
Yeah, I didn't think that was too bad. I thought the Justice League was appalling as well, and the Suicide Squad was even worse. But I still feel as if I need to watch 4 hours of this Zack Snyder version of it just to punish myself. Maybe
I saw the Wonder Woman movies and I like those, especially the first one.
That was okay.
I after Batman versus Superman though, I turned on the whole DC universe that they're doing right now because it's just so I really didn't enjoy that movie, especially the resolution. I don't want to spoil it for anyone who just hasn't seen it somehow, but the resolution, what made them stop fighting, I thought was the dumbest plot point I've ever seen in a movie in my life. So yeah, I would still watch DC movies going forward. I just think they need to reboot it again. Try again. 4 hours for a movie is nonsense, by the way. No one should watch a movie for 4 hours.
Yep. Agreed.
My favorite part of gaming. Was kind of interesting. The whole reason I started YouTube is because I started to get kind of bored of gaming. Like it felt like, I have my job and at the time I was in college and I'm like, well, I feel like I'm wasting time playing games. And, also I was going to school to learn how to, produce videos as part of my education. I'm like, I could do this, this would feel a little more useful. Like now I'm taking the thing I love and making videos out of it. So my favorite part of gaming is turned into like, YouTubing with games, only to a point. And then after I did that for so long, I burnt out on, okay, I want to record everything I do. So now my favorite part is finding that balance. So there's games I love to record and they're perfect for recording. And then there's games I love to play. And these days, now that things have settled down and way, out of college age and everything, gaming is a great way for me to connect with, my significant other, with other members of my family, with friends. So when I'm not using it to make YouTube videos, I'm using it to connect with other people. And that's kind of been I don't know if that really answers the question. One of those things is my favorite, probably the connecting with family and friends.
I use gaming as a complete form of escapism these days. I never get involved in multiplayer stuff and like playing online because I just don't want to get involved in those communities. So I'm pretty much a casual gamer right now. I think what I enjoy most about gaming is when I've got through all of the tutorial aspects of a game, so I know how to play it, and it's sucking me in through its difficulty curve, not its learning curve. It's slowly ramping up the level of difficulty. And then when it starts to introduce collectibles, like in open world stuff, once you give me collectibles that I enjoy collecting, then I'm done. So we're talking about games like Spider-Man, where it's just, you can collect something, go and start the next collectible thing in 20 seconds. Watch Dogs is the same. Assassin's Creed Odyssey, that just sucked me in for over 100 hours because there were so many locations and so many things to do, but I just kept playing it. However, Red Dead Redemption 2, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, the space between the collectibles and doing missions is far too long. And I think that's why I hate those games, along with the incessant item management. I do not want to cook in any game at all unless it's Overcooked, where the premise of the game is to cook. Stop giving me these items, which I've got to mix to give me more powerful stuff. You know what I'd much rather do is kill stuff and level up that way. That's my TED talk on gaming open box world stuff.
So right now we're offering free channel audits, one-on-one channel audits to anyone who purchases 12 months of vidIQ Boost. That is 20% off because you got 12 months. And now you get to sit down one-on-one with one of our channel auditors to learn how you can grow and improve on YouTube. These are folks who have taken people on YouTube who are in the thousands of subscribers, brought them to the hundreds of thousands, helped them launch their channels into a business. So huge value there. You have about 8 more days to sign up, or until the 250 spots are taken. So visit vidiq.com/bonus to get in on that. I suppose it's time to start saying goodbye to some folks.
It is. One person asked, when do we do audits? The question, the answer to that question is that we do channel audits every single Tuesday at 11 a.m. PT, which is 2 p.m. ET, is it? And usually 7 p.m. GMT, but the clocks are a bit weird right now. It's usually 8 hours after 11 a.m. I've probably given you a really bad answer to that. I'll tell you what you can do. You can subscribe to the channel and you'll get a notification, even though subscribers are dead. But they are quite useful for live streams because you get double notifications.
About 24 hours before the stream goes up, we do put that stream up there so you can know whatever time zone you're in, Google will correct it for you. So click in there and go, oh, it's on at 4 o'clock for me. And then you know. And
that's when you can fill out the form to possibly have your channel audited. Yes. All right, I'll start with the goodbyes, Dan. We're going to say goodbye to Wee Bob Art, Brain Freeze MC, Weemcast, Venshi, Finley HB, Pizza Cat Dog and Dream. Yes, that is all one channel name. And finally, Doberman. I just want to say welcome back, Doberman. I remember when you were moderating on our live streams when I first started doing this. Nearly over 3 years ago now, I think I've been doing channel audits. And you were one of our first long-term moderators. So welcome back and thank you for all of your help, along with all of the other moderators, of course. Zenzeris Butler is in here, I can see as well.
Thank you to all of our moderators, and also Dan H. for being our community manager and helping us post the links and keep things moving. I want to thank, everyone for being here. Pizza Cat Dog and Dream, Wanted Mobile Gaming. I see Weemcast is here. I think Weemcast and maybe some others have been answering questions in the background as we've been answering questions. So thank you to those of you who are helping us out with that. It's awesome. We have Razor Tax or something like that. Goodbye to you. Let's see. Bori Piano, we'll see you later. And Cody Hindsight. See you later.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. See you next time.
Bye. No singing.